Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Flawed TMI. Woo, boy, we're not pulling a subject for today. Today, the subject has already predestined itself onto my brain and my lips. Today, I feel that we are going to talk about my past 48 hours, but you can't really call it a past 48 hours because it has been my journey as a parent of an autistic individual. So today we're calling this definitely flawed, but it is fully learning autism when emotionally drained. Yes, flawed. So, with that being said and done, let me back up a little bit about my little one. Guess what? When I say God has a sense of humor, he truly has a sense of humor. You know, as little girls, we all have different type of dreams. Well, I dreamt as a child, you sit back and even though I told you I didn't have that traditional type of upbringing, but I watched enough sitcom lifestyles to know what a husband, a wife, a mother, a father, the family dynamics look. And even the Brady Bunch made it look rather easy. When you sit back and look at our first taste into blended families. So they made it work. Well, I look back at to my diagnosis with my son, who first I was telling God, make certain that I have a man that is going to always be in my life. Well, he did. He made certain that I had this individual that I'm not going to say he solely depends on me, but he needs me. And more importantly, I need him. So, with that being said, you fast forward a few years and you sit back and you're pregnant and you say, well, they tell you that your child is going to be, me, I'm such a freak to a point that I wanted my kids to either be an earth sign or a water sign. Talk about being neurotic. Definitely a Virgo trait. So with that being said, I wanted my son to be a Virgo, even though he was basically leaning towards the Libra sign. Well, you fast forward, here I come, coming up onto my birthday, and I was like, we were planning this nice big birthday party, looking forward to having a nice birthday. So I go to the doctor because the last thing you want to do is be at a birthday party, having a great time, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, my water broke or something happened that becomes then a medical emergency. So we go to the doctor just to make certain everything is copacetic, so we're able to just go ahead and party hardy. Lo and behold, we go, the doctor is listening, heartbeat, everything is fine. And she said, she did her little measurements and saying that, oh, he's going to be about 7 pounds, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, that's different because I tend to have the larger than life babies. So, but she said, to be on the safe side, just go to the hospital, let them, check you out, make certain everything is super fine. Okay, no problem. I left from the doctor's appointment, went home, I had this chocolate cake that, oh my gosh, I just knew my palate was just ready to absorb it. So I'm sitting back and I'm, planning my birthday party, doing a little bit of decorating and so on, looking forward to it. We go to, and I'm like, well, my husband at the time sat back and said, well, let's just go to the hospital. Let's get it out the way, make certain that everything is cool. Not having any labor pain, no distress, nothing was going on. So as I go, I sit back and I'm like, okay, let me go. They put me on the machines and making certain everything is fine, heartbeat looking great, everything's looking good. So, okay, everyone, say hello to the airplane, our routine. So, after we've done that, we sat up here and everything was fine. So we're getting to the changing of the guards, as I like to call it. It's almost 7 p.m. So, the nurse said everything looks good. You guys might as well get ready to go home. Okay, we're great. We get fast forward to about maybe 7:03. And then we have the nurse come in and said, the doctor is now going to prep you for surgery. What? Who? Huh? Come again, say what? So what ended up happening is then I'm not something was really wrong with me that particular day, because instead of me asking, is my baby okay? Is there anything going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'm like, I have cake at home. I have cake. What's going on? I got to get to my cake. Truly, there was something wrong with me in that time, space, and moment. So in that time, space, and moment, I'm sitting back focusing on the cake. Fast forward, emergency C-section. Fast forward, birthday baby. Yes, my baby was 9 pounds, 9 ounces on the 9th day of September. Go figure. So in that moment, you sit back and think, that's a healthy baby. That should be a healthy baby. So when you get into your kindergarten years and all this distress and everything start manifesting, I'm still reflecting back on what happened, what's going on. And true enough, we can have a whole bunch of dialogue as to whether it has anything to do with vaccinations or if it was anything to do with stress factors, heredity. There are a lot of things that we can sit back and say possibly played a hand into the diagnosis. Or it could be all the above. That's one thing that very few people delve into. Is it a possibility that it could be everything that we expose ourselves to? One will never know. So with that being said, I have an autistic young man that I love dearly, that God knew by design, he gave me what I needed. Because I'm not going to sit back and say that autism runs my life, but there are times that I sit back and I look at my life and I realize if it wasn't for the diagnosis, I don't know the who, what, when, or where I would be. I already know that cancer will, kind of teetered its head as to how poorly I parent. But then autism brought it full circle to slow me down, to get my life straight, to get my life right, to sit back and say, you need to be 100% hands-on. And true enough, I wasn't 100% hands-on in the very beginning. I did not become fully hands-on until it got to a place in our lives that he became more volatile, he became more uncontrollable, and he got into a place that I needed to be his everything. I needed to be every sense that he had. There are times I had to be his eyes. I had to be his ears, his nose, his speaking part. I had to be everything for him. And that made me sit back and relive my life. Now, there have been times that I look at my life and many have inspired me and many have motivated me. But I can truly say in this blessed moment of being able to sit in front of this camera and speak to everyone, I am now beginning to transform my life. And that's what I truly needed. My son and I need this safe place for us to gather peace of mind. Because when he is in his lowest parts, and when I say low, I mean extremely low, I don't know what goes on in his head. He allowed me to talk to him, because when we do therapy and we talk to therapists, he has no respect for them. He shuts down. He doesn't. And sometimes, and by all means, I'm not condemning anyone in the psychiatric field. I'm just saying, when it comes to how my son navigates through life, he look at them as the enemy, when we know they're there to help. But it is hard to really, really, really get into the mind of someone off of 50 minutes of a day, a once a week visit, okay? Or even twice a week, whatever. It's hard for you to get the full understanding and grasp of it all. But with my son, when he gets into his moments of being suicidal, or God forbid, when he sits back and he looks at us and say, we don't care, we don't know. That's when it's time for me to take off the mother crown, sit it aside, and get into his skin. It's time for me to sit back and view life as he does. Now, when he views life, sometimes it's all darkness. And I never realized how truly dark someone who goes through any type of mental health issues are. And when you sit back and you see a truly blessed young man, it's difficult for me to fathom the ideal that, well, gosh, you have loving family here. You have your mother that's here. You have us. We're at your beck and call. We're here for you. But in his moment, autism, wow. It's like I told you, please, by all means, anyone who may be a parent of an autistic individual, take a moment into your lives and see if they need anything. Even if they say, no, thank you, I got this. Take a moment, really look into their eyes, look into their spirit to see if they need something. Because we're so quick to say, we're good. But in actuality, we're not. We just sit back and we just go through the motions of it all. And I thank God that there's always a tomorrow. And I know there's sometimes that you're supposed to live in that moment, but I have to live in hope. I have to live in hope each and every day. If I don't live in hope, then whatever the diagnosis was, autism, whether it's a physical diagnosis such as cancer, it wins. And I'd be damned if I let it win on my watch. God has given my son the best advocate that he possibly would ever have. For every parent that's out there with a child, whomever they may be, God had given them the best advocate that they have, because we will fight tooth and nail to save them. And right now, I'm sitting back saying, today is a beautiful day. Yesterday, we were side by side. He went I went too. So, he was all in his video games. It wasn't that he needed me. He just wanted me right there in his space. He wanted to hear me breathe. And the more that I was able to breathe, the more he was at ease. And eventually he was able to plateau back down and be calm. God, I love you for what you have given me. Because in this moment, like I said, between Jalen and between being able to speak this off of my spirit, I'm beginning to transform. And still a wild person. I know how to manage my imperfections well. But with that being said, I'm also doing my best to make certain that whatever I am going through financially, emotionally, physically, mentally, I am going to work harder to be the best me, that when God looked at me, he knew that he designed, yes, a hot mess, but also within my hot mess, a hot message. Ooh, did y'all see what I did there? Hot mess, hot message? Y'all keep in tune. I got a lot more gems like that. Pearls of wisdom. So if you like the message, you know the routine. You hear everyone sit back and say it. Like, subscribe, please, please, please notify. Tell people about it. Because like I told you, I'm not in it for the numbers and views, but I do want people to embrace me, to sit back and help elevate me, because I don't want to go through this journey alone. I really don't. Whether I have someone in bed with me or on the journey pathway walking with me, I don't want to do it alone. So each time you're there, it increases me to want to do more. So God bless you. Invest in me, and I'll invest in you. And together, we're going to build up, and we're going to learn, and we're going to love. And I appreciate each and every last one of you. I appreciate. You just don't know how much I love and appreciate you all. God bless.